here I am again. I know it's been a long time since I've written or sent a tape, so I guess it's about time I get to work. Got all your letters and enjoyed them. I'm too glad you had a good time in your trip. It's too bad about all the things you lost out in San Francisco. But I imagine you had a pretty good time. As long as it's uncovered by insurance, it isn't too much of a loss, is it? As far as a movie camera goes, if you want, I think I can probably get another one out of the PX. If they ever get any more in. They probably don't have any now. PXs have really been bad around here lately. They just don't have anything in them since the Army took over. They don't have any tape recorders or any lenses for our cameras or a very poor selection of cameras, no watches, no nothing. I tried to buy a B4 bag the other day. They don't even have those. We feeny work a little bit early today. It's about 3 o'clock now. I'm laying out and letting the sun god whip a few rays on my bod. Watching the indigenous personnel around here, women, chop down all the grass around our tents. This is really a lousy looking area. I'll show you some of the pictures when I get back. Took a bunch of slides. I probably have about, I imagine, around 600 slides, so you're going to have to sit through that when I get back. I have one more movie. I haven't been taking movies lately. You can hear a couple choppers and jets go over, possibly. Every time these jets come over here, they blow off their afterburners to rouse us out of bed, I guess. I think they do it on purpose. Every time they come over to base camp, they let us have it. These Vietnamese women back here think this is about the craziest thing they've ever seen in their life. Watching me talk to myself over here with this little box. There's 3 F-5s going over right now. They're beautiful planes. Kind of long. They're pretty small. They're long and got real short, stubby wings. Very fast. I talked to a few jet pilots about them, though, and they convinced me that they aren't really too valuable, though, because they they don't have a good enough range, I guess. They said they can hardly get out of sight of the airfield. They have to come back. I think that's the kind NATO bought a bunch of them. I think they're made by Lockheed, I'm not sure. And I started making this tape last week, and I found out that my tape recorder didn't work. I don't know, there's something wrong with my recording heads or something. I can't get enough volume out of it. I even changed batteries. And a pretty good Jungle Fighter's tan laying around here. Bob Warmington over here just made Major about a month ago, and he and I have been laying out quite a bit. He more than I, actually. As a matter of fact, Herbin, the guy who just left, the colored guy, was our oral surgeon here, claims that when we get back, we is going to be in trouble. We will have to sit in the back of the bus. I imagine this tape is going to be a little bit fouled up. Don't mind me if I run from one thing to another. I'm getting a lot of interruptions around here. There's a guy that just left today, so naturally we had to have a little party for him over in the First Med area last night. Martini party, so the sun god's going to have to heal me a little bit today. We're we have a new clinic over here now. We moved out of the tent. We're in a building. We have individual operatories. Have the lights mounted on a ceiling now. The lights aren't too good, but they're a lot better when they're mounted on a ceiling and get them higher and get them a little bit closer, adjust them better. Have fluorescent lights on the ceiling itself, the dental light hanging from the ceiling. And we have these overhead fans, you know. See the things in the movies of South America and Central America and all that. That's what we have. They really work good, though. It's kind of a tropical shelter type building. It's brick up to about, I guess 4 or 5 feet, built on a cement slab. And it's got screening up a little higher, and it's got kind of a tin and asbestos roof. Vietnamese women are making me a little bit nervous around here with their machetes. I think they're probably too lazy to hurt anybody. Those are the laziest people you ever saw in your life. It takes them an hour to do. It takes 6 of them about an hour to do what it takes an ordinary person about a half an hour, even a lazy ordinary person. I got kind of a jolt about your references to the Jaguar dealer. Let's see. Oh, yeah. Here's what Dad says. We also went out and saw the new Jaguars. They aren't so bad. He was a high-powered salesman. Now, here's what Tim says. Just a second. Let's see now. When we were going through Las Vegas, we drove by a Jag dealer, so I drove in to show Mom and Dad what the XKEs look like. There was a good salesman there who gave a big sales talk to us, and now the folks think a lot of them. So I wonder which is which. As far as that T-Bird goes, I haven't had a chance to check it out in the PX yet. That's probably the best place to get it, from what I understand. But Bob was, Warmington here, was thinking about getting one, and he got the price on one. With everything on and the Landau top and everything. How much was that, Bob? You remember?
Landau top and everything, it was about 4,000. About an even 4,000. 4,000, 4,100.
Is that all?
About 4,100.
4,100 with everything?
With air conditioning,
all windows?
no power windows.
All brakes, power steering?
That's standard. Everything but power windows.
That'd be everything but power windows, and I guess power seats. It didn't have that either. It'd be about $4,100. That's not bad. If you want, I can order one here for you. How long would it take?
Take about 90 days.
Take about 90 days.
The 67 prices may be a little bit higher.
Do you hear that? 67 prices may be a little bit higher. Well, I went down to Saigon the other day and blew my brains out. I went in to check on the new Corvettes and had this beautiful Vietnamese girl in there, and she sold me one. I had to put $300 down and I had to pay them $101 commission. I'll send you this the price sheet on it. Everything's on there. She said I'd have to send that to my bank. And I wonder if, Dad, if you could take it down there and see if they'll lend me some money. I don't have $4,200. It's going to be a gray convertible. Actually, it's not gray. I never did like gray cars too much, but this really looks beautiful. It's called Silver Pearl. Has a black vinyl interior, and it'll have a white convertible top, and I also got a detachable Silver Pearl top to go with it. It should be real nice.
Whip it on us, Ray God!
Ray God, whip it on me! Well, I guess I should give you a little history on what's been happening around here as far as me and the Army goes. I told Pat about this. I don't know if she told you or not. But I decided that I want to go to Germany. So, to do that, you have to send in indefinite papers, which means you will go indefinite, and you can apply to get out a year after you go indefinite, which I will officially be on indefinite status September the 10th, I guess, which would be my ETS when I would have gotten out. Also, I submitted a preference sheet as to where I wanted to go. Walking on here for about 2 or 3 minutes, found out that I ran out of tape, so here we are on the other side. So I said, with that, I sent in a preference sheet as to where I wanted to go if they wouldn't send me to Europe. And I had to put in another sheet. It's a request for an ITT, an inter-theater transfer, in order to get to Europe. So, as usual, I messed everything up in Saigon. I got the ITT and the preference sheet back about a month later. And about 2 weeks later, I got a letter from Washington from this colonel. It was a pretty nice letter. They could have put it to me again and sent me back to Fort Polk if they wanted to. He said that he had all he had was my indefinite papers, and he didn't know where I wanted to go or anything. But that he had a letter in his file that I had sent him in March of '65, saying that I would, I'd sign my life away if they'd get me out of Fort Polk and send me to Germany or something like that. So he said, I have no idea where you want to go. I said, I don't have anything, but I have to tell you that we're over our quota in Europe right now for dental officers, so that he couldn't send me. And he asked me if where I wanted to go, if I would please send him another preference sheet. So, and he also said that he would sit on my papers. In other words, that he wouldn't put me on indefinite status until he heard from me. So I sent him this big long letter telling him how unhappy I was at Fort Polk, and I realized that the mission of the Dental Corps is first and all this rah-rah jazz. And I put down I guess about 10 or 12 different places. I said, if you can send me to one of these places, I will extend. You can put through my papers, and I would like to hear from you as soon as possible. So it took him about 3 weeks, and I finally got the letter back. One of the stations I had on there was 2 Rock
ranch station. I'm sure you've never heard of that. Nobody else around here had except Warmington. And he didn't even remember who told him. He said it was 35 miles north of San Francisco. It's a little ASA post, only one dentist. I didn't know there was only one dentist. So I put that in there, too, and lo and behold, what should come back but Two Rock Ranch Station. He says, I'm awaiting your reply. Do you want it or not? So I thought it over and thought it over. I was thinking about getting out. As a matter of fact, I could have been out of here about September the 1st if I would have, so that was a big temptation. Now I won't get out till about the 7th of October, I imagine, somewhere around there, maybe the 14th. So anyhow, I told him that I'd take it. So after due consideration and all that, so it looks like that's where I'm headed. I'll be about 35 miles north of San Francisco. I understand it's a very nice post, but it's only one thing that bothers me about being on call there. I don't know. I hope they don't expect me to be there every weekend and on call every night, but I don't imagine they will. Otherwise, if a real sick call does come in, they can always go to Letterman or someplace in San Francisco or an Air Force base around there. So it sounds like a pretty good deal.
At any rate, I thought I was going to be in Bangkok this week. I put in 1049 for leave papers. Then you submit this paper and it goes to Saigon, and they have to cut up orders for you. I was going to leave Sunday or Monday. So I went in there Saturday to pick them up, my big bag and everything, my big borrowed bag, all full of clothes and everything. And lo and behold, they hadn't had anything, no paper. I may have a little trouble finishing this tape right now. There's a couple of guys that want to butt in here. I think I got them calmed down a little bit now. At any rate, as far as Bangkok goes, I told the guy that when the paper did come in that they should change the date on it, so I'm going to try to go next week. If I do, I will give you a call from there. We'll try to gauge the time, right? I imagine if I call you about noon or something like that, you'd probably get it about midnight. I think it's about 12 hours. Bangkok is right on the other end of the world from where you are. It's going to cost me a few coins to go to Bangkok, I'm afraid. I hope it's not as bad as Hong Kong, but it may turn out that way. I have to get... So far, all I've gotten as far as my stereo equipment goes is 2 huge speakers. I kind of blew my brains out in those, too. But I think I might as well get a good set over here now, because if I ever get a house or anything, and if I ever get married and get a house, I will want a good set. So I paid $262 for these 2 speakers. And when I get to Bangkok, I'm going to buy a $200 tape recorder. And maybe a $100 tape recorder. I don't know. I might buy 2 of them. It's going to cost me $155 for an amplifier tuner. May buy a couple small speakers, about $15 a piece. Let's see. I want to buy a turntable. That'll probably cost me about $80. And I'm going to buy a ring, sapphire ring for myself. Diamond ring. Which will probably cost about $40. Also, I have to get a couple lenses for my camera. I want to get a telephoto lens and a wide-angle lens. Zircon. So, yeah, and a bunch of zircon rings. So, I'm not going to have a heck of a lot of money. I don't know exactly how much to tell you to get from the bank for me. I imagine I'm going to need about $3,500, so I should be a pretty good risk. As long as I'm in the Army, they can't get away from me. I mean, I can't get away from them. They can track me down no matter where I am. I'll try to pick up some things for you in Bangkok. I'll probably pick up some Thai silk and try to find some statues or something for Mom and so forth and so on. I was also thinking about maybe buying a couple sets of china, sending them home in my whole baggage. I would buy all this stuff around here, but they don't have it anymore, and they don't know when they're going to go get it in. They've been promising us they're going to get it in for the last 5 months, and we still haven't seen anything. Glad to hear you got the swimming pool through there in town. I never did get a ballot, so I didn't have a chance to vote. So darn close, you might have needed my vote. I got a tape and a letter from Pat. She told me all about Feldman and so forth. Oh, by the way, I was telling you about my tape recorder. I'm using a next-door neighbor here, Major Bleicher's at Prosodonis. This is his. If I ever get to the PX in Saigon, I will see if they can fix this thing for me, or mine, rather. I think I'll probably enjoy this assignment in California. It'll give me a chance to live out on the West Coast for a while and see how I like it, and also it'll give me an excellent chance to take the boards. My friend Dick Brown got assigned to Letterman General Hospital right in San Francisco. What's the action over here, men?
Irreversible!
We figure after 10 months over here, it's irreversible, the damage done to your psychological makeup.
Why don't you think it over? I imagine that by the time this tape gets to you, you should receive a call any time after that. And think real hard. Think if there's anything that you'd like to have from Bangkok, and I'll try to pick it up for you. Dale asked me about a watch for he and Grandma, so I will look in the PX there and try to pick one up. I think I'm going to get a Seiko watch for myself. They only cost about $20, $25, and they do everything. They're self-winding, and they have a day and a date on them, and they're really nice-looking watches. I think I might get one of those for myself. Jay asked Dale what he thinks about that, or whether he'd like to have something a little bit more expensive. I don't know whether they have the ladies' watches or not, but I'm sure that I could pick up something pretty nice. They have a lot in the way of sapphires, and well, they have some jade. I guess Hong Kong's probably the best place for jade, though. Looks like I'm running out of tape before I